we coming from the true space. We ain't entertaining neighbors, I don't give a fuck what you say. Found the universal coochie, planting seeds and birds fruit. Now I'm really looking juicy. Welcome to the true space. Yeah, bitch, welcome to the true space. Welcome to the true space. Yeah, bitch, welcome to the true space. What's good, y'all? My name is Open Book. This is my partner.
Hey guys, this is Harith and welcome back to Truspace.
And this is your weekly horoscope. So let's get into these energies. So Monday, August 29th, we are looking at the moon conjuncting Mercury in Libra. How do you think this is going to hit us?
So this is coming from the new moon in Virgo, and this is also already in Virgo season, really putting us in the energy to learn how to be much more flexible and adaptable, even indecisive when it comes to what practicality, what makes sense, our details, routines, pattern, work, and health matter. The new moon in Virgo really puts us in a new emotional space to start building on these health things, build on our habits, to build on our work patterns, and really build and fix all these things we're working on Leo season. So Virgo season is focused on building whatever on Leo season we're doing right now. So the moon conjuncting Mercury in Libra, this is also going to be emotionally focused on creating harmony and balance based upon what we're practicalizing coming from Leo season. So these people we're gonna connect with on a relationship level, they're all gonna deal with this plan, this routine and pattern, and our sense of work and what we're gonna do when it comes to expressing our individuality. So moon and moon conjuncting Mercury is gonna make you really think about these things and how these people are gonna benefit your work and these things you've been building up for a while you're having this nice Virgo energy to really be logical, not to be so harmonious. But you gotta remember that the opposition to Jupiter in Libra, Jupiter in Aries and Chiron too, might make you put down your own passion and desires that you actually need to expand and learn and things of that nature for the sake of your relationships and being harmonious and things of that nature. So you don't want to do that, but actually that's to bring them together, close that opposition. And you remember we have this also that trine to Mars, giving you that energy to be nice and harmonious, but also know how to talk, know how to take action, and think before you take action. That's a person who knows how to talk, but also knows how to throw two punches at the same time. So that's like a person you can fuck with on like a social mental level.
Kind of helping that Libra energy move along, because otherwise it would be indecisive or be trying to focus on how to compromise at the more, how to make everything perfect, how to make everything fair, how to make everything more agreeable. But you can get lost, and that's where the indecision comes from in Libra. So you're so right. It kind of helps keep things moving, keep the conversation moving. There's multiple ideas that have to be dealt with, so you're not kind of dwelling on the one. And for sure, yeah, just like what you're saying, except it's coming off of the new moon. I bet that conjunction with Mercury is really gonna help expose, either introduce a new relationship that can help you make more sense out of your life and make more sense out of your relationship and how to balance your energy with other people, or it could be an already previously existing relationship that you have that you're starting to make more sense out of now, that you're kind of having a little bit more emotional clarity of how that relationship is affecting you and how you want it to be balanced. So it may play out in a negative way. You realize where a relationship that you were already in may be leading you to be more indecisive or more gullible or more having your resources taken and drained. And while the planet or sun's in Virgo kind of giving you the analytical mind, you may still be more agreeable or kind to that person, but you can't deny the loss of acid or the loss of either it be a time, effort, or something. You won't be able to see the loss of that from that relationship. And maybe you'll see other examples of where you can have that in different relationships. So really try and balance that out. And just like we were saying with that trine with Mars, just the time, through conversation and through being passionate about conversation, it's like that. You can really direct where all of this energy goes, and you'll be like a magnet for the right relationships to to come to you if you take advantage of that trine on Monday.
Just watch out for the heavy air-headed energy because that's Moon conjuncting Mercury and Libra, and then trining Mars and Gemini. You might be a loss and a lot of thoughts too. Or say the
Sure.
wrong thing too.
And then, well, then Sun and Virgo square Mars in Gemini, so that may help to be like that grounding factor, or maybe not even a grounding, but make you may still get that airheady shit, but you'll be able to see where you went wrong and make sense out of it, and kind of see, okay, maybe I shouldn't pull it back a little bit over here in this area, maybe add a little bit more in this area, and you start to. It's like a learning experience, but since it's the mutable signs, it may be a little bit mentally discombobulating, where it's a lot going on, and you may have to step away from and get step away from it to not get anxiety and get overwhelmed on that mental level, because then irrationality starts kicking in, and you don't start making sense. You don't start making sense. That's like a Virgo arguing with a Gemini. It's like the Gemini is lying, and the Virgo wants the Gemini to admit, and the Gemini keeps on lying and won't admit, and then it's just a circle. It's like, no, we're not leaving here until you admit, and then Gemini's gonna keep on lying. It's like an endless circle.
The greatest tip you ever hear in synastry and compatibility.
That's facts. And then what? The Sun of Virgo squaring Mars in Gemini, making a sextile, and the Sun in Virgo's making a sextile to the South Node in Scorpio. How do you think that's gonna?
So a majority of our focus right now is going to be built on being flexible, adaptive. Comes to our way of thinking, of viewing practicality, what makes sense. Because what makes sense right now is going to be based upon what we presented in Leo season. I'm going to take that individuality, that light, and then put it through some form of work, a pattern, so we can prepare it to the social life, because Leo begins the social science. Then I believe that Sagittarius, that's where it gets in. So right now, this is very important for us. The Sun right now is focused on building these things as it squares the Mars in Gemini. Mars in Gemini is giving us all this energy to be passionate, aggressive about learning, communicating, and being flexible, adaptable with these things, and not to get stuck on one way of thinking. Like Mars in Gemini, that's like a good way to learn as you're fighting and things of that nature. But you gotta watch out for the Sun in Virgo, because the Sun in Virgo might make you very conservative in your way of thinking. But I feel Mars in Gemini gives you that push and ways to break through that limitness of Virgo safety and security ways of thinking. So it's like a nice combos essentially. I don't feel they're gonna limit each other because they both share the Mercury rulership.
Yeah, for sure. That's why. Yeah, it's like it doesn't really combat each other. It's not like they're not. You don't really see that they're stopping each other. I think it leads to a lot of overwhelmingness. Just like an overload. That's kind of how that Virgo Gemini plays out. It's too much. Yeah, for sure. And then wait, what is?
Oh, and that sextile to the South Node in Scorpio too. So, like in Virgo season, man, you're gonna figure out a lot of ways to approach your vulnerabilities and these things you keep behind the scene that you did not know how to deal with. Dealing with the other signs and things of that nature. Virgos give you this plan and this very practical way of viewing and understanding your vulnerabilities. They may not seem as bad as they are, and Virgo's gonna create that sextile with Scorpio, who's gonna create a formation and allow you to really create something out of your vulnerabilities. Like you don't have to put them away and things of that nature. Like Virgo and Scorpio, that's a person who could work with his vulnerability. That makes a great for like a health worker or someone involved in like mental health.
Yeah, for sure. Or like trauma therapy and shit like that, helping unpack, some of the deeper emotions and really being productive with them, helping you make sense out of them, bring them to physicality. Yeah, for sure. And that's and then what about Jupiter and Aries sextiling? What was it supposed to be? Mars and Gemini.
Yeah,
Jupiter
Mars
and Aries sextiling Mars and Gemini.
So all this energy you're putting into expanding and learning, extracting knowledge and wisdom based upon this passion and this desires that you see yourself in and things of that nature, the more you expand on seeing that, the more Jupiter is gonna present you with knowledge and ways of approaching this, who I am, because Carrion is also in Aries, really showing you where you're very sensitive and where you don't know how to exert that individuality that Aries require you to. And you can see Jupiter is expanding that tissue within your brain and nervous system, and then that sextile with Mars in Gemini, you're getting all this energy to breathe, utilizing your respiratory system. So now you can bring all this oxygen to your brain and nervous system, and now you can take action on all these visions and imaginations that you've been giving meaning and reasoning to in your brain and nervous system. Aries, the first house.
Yeah, that's true, and I bet that helps with the overwhelmingness with the square and the Sun in Virgo and the Mars in Gemini, kind of opening up the lane, kind of like what you were talking about, like with the blood vessels, kind of like opening up the blood
Yeah.
vessel, like expanding it so a little bit more can get through because you have a broadened perspective. That is, starting to about self that's starting to come about. So while the Mars and Gemini kind of has a little bit more room, has more room to think about different thoughts, and stuff like that, and entertain different thoughts because of this expanded sense of self that is going on. So maybe, Virgo doesn't feel as pinned into a corner, or your mind is learning to entertain more thoughts or to work on a higher, level, if you get what I mean. And then Venus in Leo is opposing Saturn in Aquarius and squaring Uranus in Taurus. How do you think that's
So
going to
right now, obviously, your love matter are being forced under, are being seen by Saturn. They want to see whether they are presentable, are they making sense, have they been associated, or are they just a bunch of flashes, ways of expressing yourself on the stage, and you wanting to get all the attention to yourself. So that's what Saturn is judging right now, the quality of love you're expressing on the stage, as you're experiencing the harshness, that square, which causing you to learn create learning opportunities to express practical things that are stable as a certain tradition and a value. They don't have to be so flashy, but you need the Venus in Leo because it gives you that courage to stand up and also to have a form of fun entertainment. Well, obviously Uranus is debilitated in Taurus, making you view reality very harshly. So you're getting tired, exhausted, and Venus in Leo is giving you that sense of fun. But obviously that sense of fun needs to be backed up by value and stability. So Saturn and Aquarius could have something to work with, so everybody could connect to.
This could even be like this is a great opposition. Like I see this playing out, especially with Venus in Leo, with that fun energy. Maybe you're hanging out with a bunch of people that do nothing but do drugs or something like that, or just focus on certain things. Maybe it's not even have to be drugs or something destructive, but all they talk about is cars or girls or whatever it is that they're entertained by, and you guys can create relationships and be entertained by all of that type of stuff. But the society or the world, that's why I was using drugs as that example. It's looking at you guys as an opposition or as bums and stuff like that. But indulging into that or going into that, even though it may seem like it's a bad thing in terms of the societal perspective looking down through, and maybe there is an energy that you should indulge too much, but going through that, maybe now you'll meet people who understand, the same feelings and emotions that you have and went through the same things that you have, had the same problems, figured out certain solutions, and certain things like that you can get out of, just to show you different aspects of yourself. um, Meaning that you can indulge into a lot of entertainments and fun times, and then when that pressure of Saturn comes in to try and oppose some structure, or to make it seem like you're lacking in discipline, or that you need to clean up your act, we forget, and then we would just sometimes either resist and go more into the indulging, or allow Saturn to make that judgment, and then we go back and follow what it does. But there's this middle point, this balance, where you understand, where you try and take the lessons out of the situation that you are currently in. When you try and start to understand bring a higher level of understanding to the things that you're entertaining, because now you're adding them to your consciousness. These are things that you are entertained by, giving a lot of attention to. Things like that kind of burn deeper into your subconscious. So this is where you'll find a lot of lessons in. So instead of letting Saturn or the weight of the world kind of weigh you down and make you think that you need to get rid of certain things, ask yourself what can you learn from that situation, and how other ways can you bring balance to it. It's basically what I'm trying to say with that example. So yeah, that's Monday the 29th. Looking at Tuesday the 30th, we have the moon in Libra sextiling Venus in Leo. How do you think that's going to play?
So this energy of being in the energy of initiating balance and harmony is allowing us to see opportunity in ways when it comes to presenting our love matters on the stage or things that we've been having fun with a while. That's almost like a relationship, and then you're showing these people who you're in your relationship what you've been having fun with. But remember, it's also
Mm-hmm.
trining Saturn in Aquarius. So Moon in Libra is gonna give you these ways of communicating about Venus in Leo to make it look more presentable to Saturn in Aquarius, but because Venus in Leo naturally is opposing Saturn in Aquarius, so through that lens of Libra energy, you could say it in an angle that Saturn in Aquarius will love it and respect it because Saturn is exalted in the archetype of Libra, so that's where it's gonna work out for you. But remember that in conjunction with Uranus in Taurus, Venus they love communication, harm because Venus rules Libra, while Venus in Taurus deals with stability, values. Uranus right now is causing a lot of instability, a lot of unexpected things, which really forces us to become aware on what's happening in the third dimension as we walking through it. That's almost like a person watching the news and he's getting worried that he's gonna die in a few days, while you feeling
Mm-hmm.
stable, traditional, you're gonna follow what you're gonna follow. You're not as worried. What's gonna do? That's gonna create opportunities for you to see ways of getting stabilities because you're not as scared as a person who's getting scared by all the Uranus things that's happening outside of him, which really forcing us to live within our body and things of that nature. But you gotta remember that in conjunction is gonna force you maybe to misunderstand how much energy you need to put into the physical world, while Libra might put you in the energy of speaking too much and be causing too much balance and harmony, while it may not even exist in reality. So you're gonna learn how to bring these things together.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think that's that dynamic between Libra and Taurus where Libra will probably make a whole bunch of promises or extend the hand as far out, and Taurus is like, nigga, we don't have the resources or the means to uphold all of the promises that you had just made. It's like, I don't know how are we gonna do all of that? It's like, shit, nigga, I need all of that shit. That's how Taurus be looking at it. So it's so right with that the energy that Libra kind of forces Taurus into with that in
I
conjunction.
bet in history you could. I don't think like liberal parties ever got to say with indigenous political parties like ever got along together because the whole idea is gonna be conflicting.
Yep, yep. And then it's funny because it is based off of resources too. Because they're here talking about, oh, we're trying to be liberal to do all of this, but at the end of the day, we still need y'all niggas resources and shit like that. And they're like, okay, so we have to do a system that's based off of the resources. They're like, no, 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 let's deliberate, but we still need your resources though. And it's going back and forth like that. For sure, definitely see that. Um, And then what do you think about the opposition to Jupiter and Aries, the moon in Libra opposing Jupiter and
This is
Aries?
obviously focus on building relationships that could benefit your passion and expression, but definitely does not kill your passion and expression. You don't want to ever be in a relationship with a person who's gonna kill what's happening around in Jupiter and Aries. Since it's gonna stay there for for an entire year. You want to have a person talk down on whatever you're trying to expand on for that year period, like literally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it seems like a lot of recognition, especially over Monday and Tuesday as this moon's passing over Libra. It's definitely a lot of realizations on your relationships and how this is really affecting you on the larger paths of your life, especially with that opposition. You know, a lot of relationships, we don't even realize that we had signed a lot of esoteric contracts and signed up to receiving energies and influences from people just by being in a relation, by agreeing to having a relationship with people. Now all of a sudden you're opening way to all of this energy that's coming to you, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's something that needs to be managed, something that needs to be addressed and known. um, and that can so dampen how far you expand the idea of what you can be, because now you have all of these responsibilities with all of these relationships, and there's all of these influences. So it's like, just by having these relationships and a person may be feeling a certain way, it's like closes that thought pattern, because you know if you were to say this or express this or say you want to go and be that this person's gonna go and say this. So it's like, oh, now you close off that door or that possibility, and now you're moving with less. And then, oh, this relationship, oh, I won't have time because of this relationship, and then she won't listen and all that. Boom, and now the perspective keeps on getting smaller. So with the opposition, I think you'll feel that encroach as you're trying to expand your idea of who you are and have more faith in your personal ability and your desire. And then all of a sudden you feel that getting encroached in these couple of days. Really check your relationships. And it may not be direct where this person said this thing, but it may be that the relationships and the esoteric contract that you had signed that's really coming in the way of all of that. And that's Tuesday, the 30th. Looking at Wednesday, the 31st, we have the moon in the later degrees of Libra, making that exact trine with Saturn in Aquarius. How do you think that's going to hit?
So obviously we're gonna approach the moon in Scorpio. So as we're thinking and emotionally react to our relationship, the getting harmony, where we're viewing the things behind the scene, dealing with our relationships and things of that nature, and the transparent opportunities for you to expose what's behind the scene, or trying to connect emotionally with your association and things of that nature. It's not like just you're communicating with the air element. This is you're approaching right now the water element and trying to have some form of emotion connected to the people you want to be associated with.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And like that Libra, like we trash Libra a lot, or talk about Libra Libra a lot, because it can be flunked out for sure. But like that openness, that willingness, the understanding of a relationship, like that's a serious power. And Saturn in Aquarius is pretty needed. And then when you're, especially with Leo being attacked and all of this energy, and with Leo energy going on with Venus and Leo, when planets go over Leo, especially with all this pressure from coming in from Aquarius, we may get so excited, or maybe even a lot scared, but not know what to do with that individuality energy. But the Libra energies really helps push you forward. It's like, bro, you're supposed to express that out into the world. You're supposed to bring that into the world and present it to the world to some degree eventually. So it really is that bridge that reminds us that we're not doing this just for ourselves, that we're doing this to cooperate with something, whether it's another person, whether it's a place, person, thing, or the world, just in general, that's very important. And Saturn in Aquarius fucks with that, because yeah, you may lose a couple of deals and make a couple of bad friendships, but you'll find the one that works. Where eventually, especially if you keep that attitude, but you have to manage it and be a little more practical with it, which Virgo season is helping us do, because you can get flunked out with that energy. But that flunked out Libra, maybe they'll have a whole bunch of relationships and a whole bunch of friends that are sucking them dry and all of that different type of shit. But they have a relationship with a real genuine friend. They have a relationship with real genuine people that's in that mix, that was allowed to come to breath because of that genuinity, because of that honesty to themselves. They know that they need other people. That Libra's gonna find help way before that Aries will, or the Taurus will, the more individualistic type people. They're going to be helped. And then while you're trying to struggle being by yourself, like they will have built a base. Maybe they can take care of themselves now and stuff like that because they had that friendship energy. Um, Teamwork makes the dream work. And for you to even get to that point, you have to be willing to extend out that hand. And I feel like that trine is really that push. You have to extend out that hand, and then oh shit, we can associate in this way. Oh shit, now I see the practicality, but I wouldn't have if I didn't give this some emotion. So give this relationship, with people and try and socialize. And even talking about socializing, and Mercury in Leo
Mercury.
is sextiling.
No, it's Mercury.
Oh, Mercury in Libra is sextiling Lilith in Leo. I do think that's hitting.
So as Mercury was leaving Virgo, that was really nice. And then our sun right now is in Virgo right now. It's almost like Mercury in Virgo gave us the receipts as the sun entered Virgo. So it's almost like the rapper is preparing himself to enter the work field or like working on whatever he wants to do. Then Mercury is going to Libra. That's you contacting the lawyers and then learning how to speak in public. And that the sextile with Leo and Lilith, that's you like almost like handling any dark moment or embarrassed. That's like almost like people are teaching you how to communicate in the social life and handle these emotional embarrassing moment when it comes to expressing yourself, expressing your light and things of that nature. They're teaching you how to approach and things of that nature. And obviously the sun is in Virgo, giving you all this practical energy. So I could expect a lot of breakthroughs when it comes to breaking through like Leo and Lilith, Lilith and Leo.
And knowing how to bring a lot of conversations to a lot of dark aspects to make them lighter, to make them more fun and allow you to connect with it a certain way, or for it to define you in a positive way instead of defining you in a negative way. Because there's going to be a huge lot of energy for it with Lilith being in Leo, for you to be defined by these dark moments, by these insecurities. So the Mercury and Leo sextile is like, whoa, whoa. It doesn't have to be, all this attention. It doesn't have to be a hell like that. You can position it or dress it up like this, or you can look at it at this perspective. You can communicate it about it in this way, and then now it doesn't have to be like that anymore. Now it's an opportunity to create relationships. Now this is an opportunity to laugh about something, or to bring it to a lighter perspective. It doesn't have to be a negative that you focus on, that you get trapped up in. For sure. And that's how Wednesday's looking. Um, Thursday, the September 1st, we have the moon in Scorpio now, making a trine with Neptune in Pisces. How do you think this is
So
going
we're
to
gonna be emotionally reacting and fixated, sometimes stubborn ways when it comes to our emotions, feelings, and ways of connecting and certain vulnerabilities and things that certain things deal with behind the scene. But the moon is debilitated here, so we're not gonna know how to go about our emotion. Every time the moon goes in Scorpio, it almost feels like you being in the dark, not knowing how to feel. But that's the whole point of having the moon debilitated there. It forces you to feel about what's really important and things of that nature. And then that trine is creating the opportunity for you to connect with your subconscious mind and let it know what do you truly emotionally desire. Because Neptune and Pisces is a mutable sign, so it can be very scattered with the emotions, the feelings, and the dreams and the illusion. And that trine with the moon in Scorpio can help you lock in and a little bit more fixated, but also vice versa, help you view your emotion and all these dark waters from this high spiritual water of Pisces, and learn how to view from a mutable way and add meaning and reasonings to things of that nature. But you gotta watch out for the opposition Uranus in Taurus, because you need to realize how unstable you are. You get scared, and then you might feel more vulnerable, and that might make you want to escape to your dreams, illusion, imagination. It's gonna make you more lethargic about physical reality. And Uranus in Taurus wants you to wake up as you walk through the third dimension, so you can pick up cues on how to find opportunities to gain money and find stability.
For sure, for sure. A lot of, like, especially with like with that Taurus Scorpio dynamic, like a lot of the Scorpio aspect, like how you read a medical astrology, Scorpio is like
Yeah.
detoxing, getting things out of your body, and you start seeing the physical result of that, maybe the sweat, the pus, the mucus, or whatever it is that's trying to leave. That scares you. And a lot of people, it's like get lost in that detoxification process once it becomes physical. And it may lead them to go and escape. Oh no, I don't want to continue this detoxification process. I want to go running away and escape and pretend I didn't just see that mucus just come out. Pretend I didn't just see that there was this built up of energy that is there that needs to leave.
Oh, that's what make people scared of Scorpios in general. They're scared of transformation. They're scared of things of that nature. That makes a lot of sense.
For sure. And then yeah, Neptune and Pisces is right there. And that's the collective influence. Is like, especially with Neptune being in Pisces and in master degrees, they're just waiting for you. They're like, come here, come here. You don't know, oh, you don't know how to feel? Come here. We'll tell you how to feel. We'll teach you how to feel, You see all these emotions over here, take some of these ones, and stuff like that. So for real, if you run away from that detoxification thing, Neptune's gonna be right over there to put that cloak over for you to justify a reason, for you to create an illusion, for you to create a la la land, for you to get lost into, or for you to get influenced by. Or maybe people are telling you how you need a detox now, and trying to tell you that mucus isn't bad, or like or the aspect, something else that you need a detox, and all of that different types of shit. But and that's on the negative side. But yeah, just like what you're saying before, this could be really introspective. Like Moon and Scorpio, kind of, you don't know how you feel, because even Scorpio's like when we're talking about other people's resources, um, it's also like how other people respond to their resources and stuff like that, other people's emotions and stuff like that. But it's in an aspect where you can't really feel or have too much awareness of that directly, but it kind of steps you into this empath type style, and that's why Scorpio's kind of like in the bridge between Cancer, where you empathize, and as further along, you kind of start to really empathize and start to feel emotions that aren't yours. But when the Moon gets there, it's kind of like this heightened awareness of this sensitivity that the Moon hates. The Moon wants to be comfortable and stuff like that. It wants soft light. It's like, yeah, it's dark, or I like it nighttime. But I like soft light. It's not Scorpio. It's just pitch black. It's like, I don't know about all of this. I don't know about all of this shit. But it's definitely an area that needs to be traversed. So you may not, because it's in that dark, you may not know what to feel. It's not that you don't feel. It's that, like, you don't know what it is, or is that mine, or is that someone else's? It kind of opens up that bridge, but that's a very deep spot for self-realization to go. And with the trine to Neptune and Pisces, you can really get to some deep subconscious aspects by not running away from that vulnerability. By you embracing that vulnerability, by you embracing those emotions, you can really start to tie in and clean up and detoxify a lot of subconscious emotions that you didn't realize were controlling you or manipulating you. So there's a huge opportunity for that, with that
And
energy.
the sun is already in Virgo, adding, allowing you to really almost like create a physical transformation too.
Yeah, yeah, hands down, for sure. And then Mars in Gemini,
Oh,
or
the moon is,
the Moon in Scorpio is making it in conjunction with Mars in Gemini.
bro, that. So as you're emotionally, you already feel emotionally vulnerable, debilitated, and you try to feel so deep enough to figure what you truly feel through, and this is why you decide to transform and things of that nature based upon what you feel. But that in conjunction with Mars in Gemini, you having all this energy to communicate, but you don't know how to feel. It's almost like weird. That's like a person who keeps talking and talking and talking to almost to hit this feeling that he doesn't know that it exists. It's almost like you almost see like a dark room, and then he's just talking and talking till something happened. That's how I see him. That in conjunction.
Yeah, yep, yep. That's facts, and that's like with Scorpio. with the Gemini friend, Scorpio deliberately didn't tell the Gemini the information. It knows how Gemini is. But somehow Gemini, just by talking carelessly, had painted a picture where Scorpio kind of has to explain what it wasn't, what it didn't want to explain, you know. And if now put it, it's like, oh shit, I didn't even tell this nigga. But him just even knowing that this situation exists and him running in his mouth, now he put me in a position where I have to either manipulate the situation a little bit, or expose the deeper aspect that I didn't want to have. I suppose that's how Gemini always exposes Scorpio or some shit like that, and it's never deliberate or it's never exact. It's just through the communication, certain words being said, and it's like, wait, hold up. It shows that there's more. You know, it sparks curiosity, and it's like, wait, hold up. There's more to the story. This is deeper, or something like that. And then it kind of pulls you in. So that's where the in conjunction is. Yeah, for sure. And conversation is a quick way for things to get exposed. And being forced to think on the fly too. A quick way for things to come out that maybe wouldn't have to have come out, you know, because Gemini energy is way more better at that energy than Scorpio. So for sure, I definitely see that awkward moment manifesting from it. And then the moon in Scorpio is squaring Venus and Leo and Saturn in Aquarius. How do you think
Man,
that
so
little T
so
square?
you definitely gotta watch out as you're feeling so deeply and you experience all this harshness that Venus and Leo is obviously forcing you to jump on the stage, but the moon, you wanna put your feelings, so you wanna hide your own feelings, but the Venus wants you to express how you feel on the stage. But as you experience Saturn and Aquarius harshness, opposition, and then you got Saturn and Aquarius also that square too. So it's, man, that's heavy energy. You don't know what to do. You don't know. Should I come out?
Yeah.
Should I come out my darkness and say what I want to say, or should I stay in the darkness and then let what happened happen? But that's the whole point of the kid. But you're learning opportunities for you to figure out how you feel as you're getting hit by Saturn and Aquarius, this generational planet that's retrograding, and then but also by Venus and Leo really forcing you. Yo, you gotta love what's on your heart. Yo, you gotta present that thing. Yo, you can't be shy and hide behind the scene all the time. That's how I see Venus and Leo. You know, but you gotta be,
Hands down.
serious though. Venus and Leo. Whatever you present with Venus and Leo, you gotta be serious. So Moon and Scorpio, you feel stable. You don't feel as vulnerable because the whole Uranus and Taurus opposition and things of that nature. So you gotta be careful.
At least make it something that you genuinely enjoy, that is honest and true to you, because when certain things were to be exposed or certain things were to come into contrast, it's not something that is so that's going to spark more shame, you know. It's something that is connected to positive emotions, if you get what I mean. So don't deny those positive emotions, because those is the what's gonna allow the transformation to take place, or for you to be able to look at something dark and bringing it to a higher um, aspect. And it's quite crazy that all of that square is going on, and then the trine with Neptune and Pisces is right there. So there's that real opportunity for you to get swept away, or you for it to be influenced. But if you were to utilize it for yourself, running into all of these frustrations, not knowing what to do, this is a great time for you to creatively imagine a better future based off of your deeper desires. This is a great time for you to use that Neptune and Pisces energy and allow your creativity to take flight. How do you want the future to look? Neptune is a very powerful tool for us to plan for the future. It allows us to expand and create worlds, and jump into worlds and see how we feel about it before we start the whole water cycle. You know, we can kind of jump into to see how the water cycle is going to play out, to see if it's even worth the investment. But it's a very subtle area where you can be pulled in and pulled out, or pulled into different directions if we're not aware. This is like that. It's kind of like the half asleep type deal, or that's the state of being that kind of has to be mastered or can best represent the best creative phase where you are aware, or lucid dreaming, it's like along those lines. Try and bring a little bit more awareness to that creative process, to that dreaming process, to that imaginative process, while you're going through all of these squares and fixations, uh, and it'll allow you to come to some type of conclusion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's looking at Thursday first. Friday the 2nd, the moon is in late degrees of Scorpio, making a sextile to Pluto in Capricorn.
So right now you're gonna take whatever you build it on the new moon in Virgo, whatever that was the practical, but you're gonna take it, you're gonna connect it with the relationship that you built it while the moon was in Libra, and now you're gonna take that to the moon in Scorpio, and then decide what type of transformations or what type of um, things that you need to deal with behind the scenes so you could ascend into a higher form of reality and things of that nature. And that is giving you the energy to have to approach Pluto in Capricorn, because you did the work and you planted the right seed was while the we had the new moon in Virgo, so you have the seeds, and now you can plant them while the moon is in Scorpio, and you're seeing the opportunities with Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto in Capricorn is forced you to take power and control, and it's integrity. But how can you take integrity without cleansing yourself, without purifying yourself? That's almost like a fat, a obese person wants to run your company, but he never lost weight in his entire life. So that's
Yeah.
type of the energy that's presenting, and that's a very serious energy too. Scorpio combination with Capricorn, that's serious. It's like no fun,
Yeah.
which is kind of good having it after having all this energy. Mars in Gemini and then Venus in Leo, and Thursday. Yeah, it's a nice touch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. It'll help you transform into like more of a responsible person, or give you the opportunities to see how you can start transforming into a more responsible person, more emotional responsible person too. Since we're talking about the moon in Scorpio, and then yeah, the sun's in Virgo, so it's already creating a sextile with the moon in Scorpio. So there's that real opportunity for um, practicality to be made and be brought to our emotion. We're gonna kind of be faced with the emotions, the vulnerabilities that are stopping us from, and that's the energy of Thursday, really, of all of the energies that is causing the vulnerabilities and stopping us from taking the most practical action. Friday's more of that opportunity time now. Okay, after the struggle and after all of that has been fixated on, after we put it on, now here's some energy for you to start seeing the opportunities of what can be, of the serious approach that you can go and take, that will bring that practicality that was once threatened to you, so that you can find stability. So I feel like that's a good day for opportunities to really see what the world is presenting you, and to be open to taking the opportunities that present themselves to you, that maybe it's going to be in the form of a challenge. It's going to be in the form of testing you, making you have to let go of something that you care about, or making you have to be a little bit more conservative for something that you want to indulge into. But whatever it is, it may present itself as a challenge, but under the challenge is the opportunity for you to build what it is that you need to build, for you to build the discipline that it is that you need to build, for you to transform into what it is that you need to be. It's kind of like school, or you're writing your covenant, type deal. What you're going to go by, the rules that you're going to go by, the blueprint that you're going to follow, what you're willing to sacrifice in order to have this thing built.
But on the negative side, you're gonna be highly scared, because when you combine Scorpio energy and Capricorn energy, especially right now coming from the new moon in Virgo, and you did not have a plan, you did not have a new form of practicality. Well, the moon is in debilitated, you don't know how to feel, and then Pluto in Capricorn, you see how the government's taking control, the government are running all these businesses, and and how useless you are, and how you have no form of integrity, you have no form of stability, you never want to open no business in your entire life, and now The moon in Scorpio is putting you, like showing you how you truly feel. But that's a scary feeling.
Yeah.
Like, but that doesn't teach you how not ever to fuck around.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like putting the real scare or fire under your ass to let you know that this shit is serious. For sure. And that's how Friday's looking. The 2nd of September, the 3rd of September, Saturday, we're looking at the moon being in Sagittarius, making a trine with Jupiter and Chiron in Aries, and Lilith in Leo. How do you think this fire trine is going
So
to
as
play
we're
out?
ascending from our darkness, our vulnerabilities, we're approaching this emotional way of viewing our vision and imagination from this broad ways, and learn how can we add meaning and reasoning and a sense of philosophy and a spiritual to all these dark vulnerable things that we went through, and how to stretch out our mind and things of that nature. But with the trine to Jupiter in Aries, this, every time we ascend out of that darkness in Scorpio, we always meet that trine in Aries. It gives it more confidence, it gives it more knowledge and wisdom based upon the experience we went through so far. So I really like that. But you know, I'm
Mm.
also giving the trine to Lilith and Leo, giving you more courage to deal with this embarrassing moment. That's a beautiful fire trying to really burn through reality, understand yourself, and things of that nature while squaring the sun in Virgo, learning how to add a almost like
Hmm.
a broad ways of viewing the details that you got so far and not be so practical, detail orientated. And learn how to zoom out a little bit and understand the bigger picture. And obviously, they're trying with uh, uh, Jupiter in Aries, giving you that energy to obviously separate. You gotta remember that there's the in conjunction between Aries and Virgo. So you're gonna learn how not to start digesting new things as you're getting more information and knowledge to bring to your brain and nervous system about what you're digesting. Sun and Virgo.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Like that fire energy can let you maybe burn too far, and then it's Jupiter and Sagittarius. Maybe it'll let you burn too far into predicting the future of how things are gonna go. Or let you make you spread yourself a little bit too thin. But that energy is good in terms of, and it's really going to be more of like an instinctual or physical or like a visual type thing. I feel like fire doesn't get the credit for the mental energy that it produces. This is that's why it's the higher octave of air, where air is the communicating from the thoughts. And this is why language wasn't abstract symbols first, it was pictorials, because that's how we thought, and that's how we think now. It'll be easier to communicate if we can communicate in images. If I could just shoot you images and stuff like that, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because that's what's related. When we get into the abstract signals, now I don't know what you're talking about. Now I don't know what an Arabic nigga is talking about. Before I knew he was talking about a bird, at least, because there was a bird in this motherfucker. At least we established that there was a bird. But fire energy could be good because you're gonna be focusing on how you feel, but it's with the squaring to Sun and Virgo, and then an opposition with Mars and Gemini. It's gonna be like you can't logically bring sense to it, or it's the challenge to logically make sense to it. And then while you can maybe make it make sense, it seems like it's even harder to communicate about it, to even just speak about it because of the opposition with Mars and Gemini. And they may even bring up some type of frustration. But really bear with that because, or stick with that fire trine because those feelings need to be felt first. And this is why I mentioned fire being the higher aspect before it comes down, where you really have to go through things, have the images, and allow yourself to go and entertain those mental domains and feel it. So then the water maybe can come in and you can see how you feel about this. Maybe then, whatever practicality can come off of this will show itself. But allow yourself to feel those emotions first. Allow yourself to ignite that fire, to entertain those images, for the imagination to take place. And then let your intellect go and challenge it and pick it apart and see which parts don't make sense, but don't limit the imagination part. Go and be critical about the imagination that you had and see what it makes sense. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Oh, that. Well, do that after. Do that after, or let that come after as you imagine. You know, it's like you're working in tandem now with your inner critic. It's not working against you, and that's huge with especially with Sun and Virgo, Moon and Sagittarius. With that type of aspect, Moon and Sagittarius is really going to broaden the possibilities of what it can be and try and be optimistic about it. But it may end up being a little bit reckless. So it needs the Virgo energy to help it stay on track and stay practical and manage its resources. But it doesn't need it to be critical and tell it, you can't do here, or you can't express there, or you can't do this. Stop saying you can't. You know, it's kind of like that energy. Like, of course you can. Well, is it practical or not? You know, so the can't is the huge part where allow yourself to entertain the intellectual domain, but don't stop yourself from being, analytical of it after. Explore the area, make sense of it after, basically.
I really like what you said about explore, allowing yourself to explore your imagination as opposed to analyzing and like Virgo. And I feel like this is why sometimes Sagittarius will make it further in education than Virgos and things of that nature.
And then Virgos would be the shit at whatever it is that they're doing. Say they're an engineer, but they're building the shadow government's buildings and all of that type of stuff. And the Sagittarius, it's crazy. The building that they're talking about has all loops and a whole bunch of different type of shit. But some billionaire liked it, and then he went, somebody saw value in it, and then now, they went, and just because they entertained the idea. And allowed them to get further. And it's the natural progression of things with the mutable sign too, for sure. For sure. And that's Saturday, playing out that energy. Sunday, we're looking at the moon in Sagittarius on the September 4th on Sunday, and the moon in Sagittarius making a trine to Venus and Leo now. And sextiling Saturn in Aquarius. How do you think this energy
And so
plays out?
you're having all this knowledge based upon what the moon collected in Sagittarius, based upon all the vulnerabilities that you went through, and that obviously the vulnerabilities are based upon the relationship that you created in Libra, and all these relationships that you created are based on the plan and the practicality that you decide to work on. While the new moon in Virgo, right now the moon is Sagittarius, this is you coming up with the higher ways of approaching this practical plan, giving meaning and reasoning. It's almost like involving God in whatever service you're gonna provide, Sun and Virgo, right? And then the trine and Venus and Leo is giving you the strength to approach your love matter from a much of philosophical point of view. That's almost like Venus and Leo might be this pretty girl, but she might learn these few things from this Jewish rabbis and things of that nature, which they not have nothing to do with each other, but they might connect on the visual level and things of that nature, and that's allowing you to see more opportunity to Saturn and Aquarius. So right now, Venus and Libra looks more presentable. She knows how to approach the stage because she has the wisdom and knowledge. She has to act all flashy and things of that nature. So I really respect it right now. It's not a flame or a light that burn people's eyes and things of that nature. It's something that everybody could associate themselves with. It's something that of course could make money with too.
Exactly. Exactly. I bet when Leo has that energy, Aquarius doesn't look at it as like an opposition or as an opponent or less. Looks at it as something that is like more formidable or something that it can't control, and that's where maybe the its opposition kind of comes from. But that comes from with the added wisdom that Sagittarius can bring, for sure. And it's already causing you to make those challenge those thoughts because the sun's in Virgo. So as you're trying to practicalize everything, as you allow for your optimism to shoot into the future, for you to imagine and broaden your perspective of how you want to feel, and Virgo's already challenging that, being the inner critic, making sure you stay on that practical line. So it's already kind of keeping Sagittarius in check from being too reckless, from being too broad, from being too, experimentative. And it's putting it more. It's challenging. It's like a debate. It's like a philosopher debating
A scientist.
like a student or yeah or a exactly. Where you have more backing to it. It's more okay, I can't be this frivolous, entertain everything. I've actually learned things from entertaining the thoughts that I have had, from broadening my
Mm-hmm.
mind, for entering all of these things. Let me show you the value from all of that. So it's kind of putting you into that better position, that more intellectual position, more refined. As long as you're not trying to get too critical for yourself. This is what I was saying. That's why it's important in Monday to not let the critic stop the expression, but for let the critic to refine it. That's what the whole Virgo season is for the refinement of those aspects. So now, since Sagittarius is less reckless and it's making that trine to Venus and Leo, I bet it's gonna help that you make connections and pay attention to the right things because of where your emotions lie. Your emotions want to for what you're doing to have meaning. So now it's creating this bridge for you to learn how to create connections and balance things that you're entertaining in a way where there's meaning to it. So you're not doing reckless things or meaningless things with the Venus and Leo energy. There's meaning and purpose to it. So now Saturn's like, oh shit. Saturn and Aquarius it's like, oh shit. I may not have any control over this, but there's meaning and reasoning based off of experience behind it, and now I can get on. Okay, so now they see your wisdom. Now Aquarius, this is how you get Aquarius to accept you as an individual, your individual role, because it's like, oh shit, I see that I can't control you, that you're such an individual, but there's so much meaning and reasoning built up over experience over all of this energy that I can't deny its effect. All right, maybe we can bring you on the team, or maybe we won't be such an opposing force, or maybe we won't, prevent you from gaining stability. Like that type of energy. Saturn and Aquarius would respect that, and it would be such a more healthier way to deal with Venus and Leo too, to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. And yeah, that's Sunday, September 4th. So that's the week. That's the alignments for the week, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope we gave you some insight. Check out our website, truespace.biz. Check out our Instagram, truespace underscore. Like and subscribe the video if you fuck with us and want more content. Leave a comment and tell us, what you want to hear, what you want more of. Don't be afraid to contact us and to tell us how you think, and give us suggestions. Let's build a community out
Exactly.
here, based off of all of this stuff. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, peace out, guys.
Thank you guys for listening.